You're special. I know you probably don't hear it enough, but it's true. You're actually a living miracle. The fact that you can understand what I'm saying and even exist at this moment in time is truly something marvelous. It's getting harder and harder these days to appreciate existence when we barely have enough time to touch grass as it is. Being glued to social media or the news can have a profoundly negative effect on our mental health, pulling us further away from a hopeful future. The poet and author Akawa put it best when he said, "I often look at the world and just think, fuck it, why bother? But I know that's how we're supposed to feel. That's why the corruption is so naked and freely visible, to wear down people who have the conviction that things could be better."
And then act shocked when it comes out.
No one's prepared to explain what I've said that's bigotry or racist.
One second. For those who don't know, Baghdad was the intellectual, cultural centre of mathematics and art and science about 1,000 years ago for quite a long time. No one blames Islam for that. So negative people who happen to be Muslim, yes, of course, it's your religion that causes it. But if you pioneer mathematics and science and introduce algebra into Europe and the guitar and coffees and lemons, that's not because you're Muslim.
Well, the people...
Okay. I'm going to get an opposing view from...
So rather than do a deep dive into politics and manipulation of mass media or the corrosive effect of social media and what it can have upon our brains, I wanted to do something a little different this time. To take a break and simply marvel at the existence of existing. The observable universe, aka what we can see based on the light that had time to reach us, is estimated to be about 93 billion light years in diameter. The Hubble Space Telescope suggested that there are 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. Of those 2 trillion is the Milky Way galaxy, where we call home. And in that galaxy is an estimated 100 billion stars. Each star has roughly 1 to 2 planets orbiting it on average, and of those planets, an estimated 10% would fall under what is called the Goldilocks zone, meaning being the proper distance from their stars to both warm the planet while not cooking it, allowing for the conditions of life. Of those 10%, only 1% fall under the category for which the conditions of life may arise, which starts to sound really lonely, as if we're some kind of miraculous event happening far away in our distant speck. But zoom back out and understand the sheer scale of the observable universe, and suddenly the potential for life on other planets becomes an equation like this: 4 times 10 to the power of 19, aka there are 40 quintillion potential life-hosting blue orbs traveling through space, having adventures and music and orgasms that we'll never know or understand. And our brains have nearly as many neurons as there are stars in our own galaxy. With over 86 billion neurons, the human mind forms complex neural networks and synaptic connections, leading to a total of about 100 trillion synapses. Weirder and more fascinating still is that the brain is made up of 72% of the same stuff that makes up most life on Earth. 2 oxygen atoms bonded with a hydrogen atom. Water. Our little speck of dust, suspended in a sunbeam, once had meteors with ice smash into it, or volcanic eruptions. There's only so much we can predict. And as the planet filled with water that would eventually blend with the minerals in the rocks to form salinity of the ocean, that same salinity that is found inside of our mother's wombs. Water, which changes states based on temperature, expanding when frozen, and whose ice sheets would be necessary for shielding the development of life below before it crawled onto the surface. And every one of those atoms that composes the chemicals that compose the cells that compose all animals on Earth were once forged inside of a furnace of a sun billions of light years away in a process called nucleosynthesis. We aren't just star children. We're an entire planet of star animals, all making life possible for one another in an interconnected ecosystem on a floating rock covered in water. There's over 20,000 known species just of bees that pollinate 75% of the world's flowers and plants and allow for an entire galaxy of species to roam the surface of the Earth. There are dolphins that sing to each other, bears that hibernate for months on a staycation, penguins that give rock gifts and pick a mate for life. Not to mention, have you ever seen a baby hippo? Seriously, just look at this thing. The fact that 13.8 billion years ago, hydrogen and helium with a little bit of lithium and beryllium would eventually form into stars whose hydrogen cores fuse helium that would erupt into space and eventually form mammals is a miraculous fact indeed. All mammals on this planet share the same basic bone structure because of common ancestors, with variations based on adaptability. Primates like us have opposable thumbs for great mobility, whereas horses have a single big toe or hoof and small vestigial nubs instead of fingers, whereas bats have wings made from elongated finger bones, and dolphins have forelimbs modified into flippers. We're connected to and share evolution with every living creature on this planet. A nearly infinite series of endless improbable events over billions of years led to the formation of a conscious being called you that is able to understand this video and be aware of this fact, and that is more magical to me than any biblical fable or burning bush. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Can you please hit the like and subscribe button and maybe leave a comment? It really does help the videos out. But first, the people who produce everything you see before you and make this entire channel possible: Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Puppy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demel, Trevbot.exe, Words Greenwood, and Travis McClinton. And also thank you to every other person who helps fund this show. Their names are on the screen right now. It would not be possible without every single one of them. We cannot thank you enough. And if you want to join the Patreon, please come to patreon.com/theserfs and help us exist.